I'm Connor, I'm our Head of Public Sector, and I'm here with David Ashby, who's MD of Eagle Automation, and we've been diving into some really interesting topics today, and one of those is about kind of the legislative change that's happening, which is really important in the UK at the moment. We've seen a lot of kind of global events and UK events. You think about the event in Manchester a few years ago.
Yeah.
And how, with kind of the introduction of Martyn's Law into the conversation, what's making that so important and urgent, and how does that lean into the need for sort of advisory services in that space as well?
Well, I think there's a huge opportunity now because there is a big shift, as you mentioned, for this now becoming a legal requirement for venues and organisations to have, as a minimum, a risk assessment in place and prepare themselves for the legislation that's coming and what they need to do to make sure that what the service they're providing is safe. And that is really crucial. And it effectively became legislative law at the beginning of this year. There's a 2-year window for organisations to start preparing themselves and understanding what the legislation requires, what the events and the organisations need to do, and it's an opportunity for them to get themselves prepared. But without a doubt, they're going to need some guidance and some assistance and some consultancy services to help them along the way.
Yeah, and we've seen some of that with things like the Procurement Act coming in, some of the single source contract regs as a real place to kind of have a step change in making sure those organisations aren't reacting to some of that change in law and change in policy, but actually at the forefront of it, exceeding some of those requirements. What do you think, in terms of Martyn's Law, that actually requires in practice for some of these organisations to be at the front of that?
They need to start preparing now. They need to understand what their needs and their requirements are to meet this legislation. And if they don't, then I would really advise them to go out and speak to the consultancy services out there aware and to help them achieve it, and so they're prepared.
Yeah, that makes sense. And how, I guess, thinking back to sort of your world a bit more, how does that connect to HVM kind of more specifically?
Well, HVM is just one factor within this legislation, and an important one, and there's various solutions in the HVM world that will help them meet the legislation where deemed necessary. So that could be permanent deployment, so some fixed bollards, a gate. It could be deployable products as well, and there's many of those out there on the marketplace, and it really depends on working out how often you need this equipment deployed, what the infrastructure around you is to allow you to either put down that permanent deployment or the deployable solution. So it just requires a careful analysis and a cost evaluation as well of what is the best solution.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess with this coming into kind of legal force from 2027, people don't want those systems in place in the short term. They should be looking really long term. So these are lasting, sustainable solutions, I suppose.
No, absolutely. I think that's the crucial factor, is that organisations get prepared now. They look at what is the best solution for them, and then it's a question of what do they want? Is it best to take the short-term approach, just deploying something as and when needed, or a more long-term approach to deploying something a little bit more permanent?
Yeah.
But there's the aesthetics as well, where some of these areas or the equipment need to be deployed. They're in architectural areas. There's aesthetic qualities you need to think about. There's blending in with meeting requirements of historic England. So there's all sorts of challenges out there for these organisations.
Yeah, no, it's certainly an interesting time, and we're going to be seeing more and more of this, I think, coming in. And do you think, is there any kind of final thoughts from you on that? It's been such an interesting discussion from our side.
What I would take it out from this is the organisations that are aware and taking this on board now will pay dividends, because they're going to be able to meet the requirements in a timely, effective manner.
Brilliant. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Connor.